All right, welcome to Saved by the Dice, and we have snuck inside the Principal Over Lords offices and are going to pick their minds about uh, the new campaign, what's happening, this, that, and the other. Rob,
Hi.
Jeff,
Yo.
has turned into a cute little puppy dog with horns.
I'll just overlay an image of the little cat you see at shops doing that. There you go.
Right, well, so you two have the massive undertaking of managing us and our on our weekends in detention.
By which you mean we pretend to have some modicum of control over what happens?
Yeah, you do, and y'all do it so, especially you, Jeff. You're amazing at that. But I just have to say, before we get into the campaign stuff, how did this happen? Saved by the Dice. What? Wow. How was this?
We got blackout drunk one night.
Lies, all lies. The lies you tell. Really?
It's true. It was multiple nights.
Why are we doing this? What? It is just a really sort of, it's not an accident, is it? But sometimes it can kind of feel that way, Saved by the Dice. Just like, what are y'all's feelings on it?
Hold my beer and watch this. I mean, that's pretty much how we operate.
That's it. Hold my beer.
I don't have a particular political statement or anything I'm trying to make. But
well, no, seriously. I was thinking about this the other day, about Saved by the Dice. Like, what does that mean? And I guess sort of it is a really fun, iconic sort of imagery, but Saved by the Dice, I really feel like we came together, just through the magic of the internet. And we just sort of stuck together. And really, at the end of the week, I'm like, yay, I'm here. So it's like, I really do feel sort of actually saved. Because you have all this, day-to-day stuff. And then Sanctuary, Saved by the Dice.
Yeah, and Saturday and Sunday roll around, you're like, thank God I can put everything else down for 10 seconds.
Exactly, right. So I just really wanted to get, what is Saved by the Dice to you? Because for me, it's
for me, I have a lot of experience with role-playing games in general for way too many years. But what it comes down to for me is occasionally you'll have an idea or decide on a course of action, and it may make logical sense to you. It may even make logical sense to a couple of the other people in your group. But to an outside observer, it might make very little sense at all. And as a DM, sometimes you just have to be like, all right, that's what you're going to do. Go ahead and try to roll for it. And, you hope that they roll something really well, because otherwise it's just not going to happen.
If they don't, we're all throwing our inspirations. Here, take mine, take mine, take mine.
Yes. Which technically you're not allowed to do, but in some situations I'll allow.
Well, technically, fun is against the law. No. But no, now, what is Saved by the Dice to you, Rob? What is it to you?
Probably exactly what's listed under our Twitter and Twitch descriptions. We're just a bunch of friends who enjoy doing what we do.
See, when you say that, it's like, I am not the only one who thinks this.
No, I absolutely adore all you guys.
I feel reassured. I feel so reassured.
I mean, none of us joined the group with the intentions of trying to start a stream or anything like that.
No.
No. It's just kind of something that we had an opportunity and we had the program for it, so why not?
I wanted to break the dull monotony of life by punching monsters in the face.
I'm making those faces anyway. I would be making those faces and doing those voices off camera. That's just what I do. It's just now y'all are getting to see it. So good for you. So now on to the campaign. I don't know that I like the name of it. The Broken World.
Well, you guys did break it.
I
The
mean,
world
he's not
was
wrong.
always a little broken.
Well, yes, but
I don't know. It's just the name, the Broken
This is
World?
like what we did to it is like trying to take a car that's about to break down and trying to fix it by breaking the windshield with a sledgehammer.
It's true.
Tomato, tomato.
It's like,
Broken
look,
things. It's
you're
all
not
your
even going to notice the creaky
perspective.
seats because now you don't have a windshield.
Don't need those windshield wipers anymore. So in the Broken World, you've done most of the world building, Jeff. You know, because of the previous game and all of that. Now, is it a challenge to fill Rob, and like how much do you have to let Rob know so that it keeps functioning like you want it to, but you don't give him so much information that it maybe ruins it, because you play in each other's games. Your character,
Yeah.
you have your character in Rob's game, and Rob has a character in your game. So how do you keep from? It's very tricky, isn't it? Tell me, expand upon that.
I try whenever we're discussing it. I tend to talk about it as though I were talking about any campaign setting, whether it be Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Planescape, you know, anything of that.
So eventually it'll all run debate. You remember that Broken World campaign, that setting? What?
I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, I tend to speak in generalities. You know, we discuss things like factions and things like that, which tend to draw the attention of people anyway. So it's like if you live in this world, then you're going to be familiar with the Legion Assault. Almost everybody has some story of some mage getting his head knocked in and dragged off by the Legion.
So Rob, you played in the last game, so you kind of knew the previous setting. Has he thrown too much or a lot of information at you for the new one?
I think the easiest part of it, and probably the coolest part of it, is that Jeff and I think a lot alike when it comes to what would happen and what does happen. Yeah. So like we've been throwing information back and forth the past part of this week, just trying to decide stuff that would happen, and we keep having that kind of situation. That's exactly what I was thinking. So I'll he'll say something, I'll be like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I'll put something, and he'll be like, that's what I was thinking. So it's easier because we both. Like I don't know if Jeff did, but when I was starting mine, I just did like a whole bunch of research on the Forgotten Realms, started throwing stuff out there.
I did a lot of research on things that I wish I had known about whenever I was running the whole End of the World thing.
Exactly.
Apparently that was the thing that happened in 4th edition, which I never played. So
yeah, and it gets to the point where it's like, oh, okay, so I see how this group operates, or how this thing happened, and how it happened multiple times before. So this is how it probably would happen.
Right.
All right. Okay, so then now that leads me to Rob. You, ever since did you DM some before? You kind of got this much, or
not really? No, I ran a game for high school students after I was out of high school, but that didn't last very long because I started doing college. So
before we started this, you had another campaign that you could have gone back to. What? Why?
Well,
I guess what has been so tried that you decided you would rather work in Jeff's insane setting rather than?
Well, there was a combination of reasons why I decided to do it. Going back to the campaign I was running a 3.5 sci-fi set game called Dragonstar, which we found the rulebooks for and we all thought was really cool. And the problem there was I had just started going to college while still attending high school, while still having 40 billion things to do, and the looming threat of having to move across the country. So I didn't have time to do a lot of what I needed to do. And there was like 86 books for 3.5 alone, plus like 12 for Dragonstar that I had to read through. Plus, I had to figure out how to map, and I didn't have any good mapping tools at the time.
I remember you doing a lot of cataloging or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, I had to type everything by hand into our software. So it got to the point where just like I just can't keep up with this. So I had to cancel that game.
Right.
And then once we got to starting a new one, I was like, well, there's a really neat 5th edition sci-fi game setting that I have that I could run, or that would involve me building my own world the entire way. Or if I took Jeff's, then I already have our history of campaigns to draw on, plus what he already has down, plus I can, collaborate with him. So I thought it'd be easier and be more fun.
All right, okay. So
And it's interesting to me for him as a player in the game to see the kind of the direction that he takes it in when, like for example, there might have been ideas that he had as a player that I might not have gone with at the time that he could, try to bring into the game now,
Vengeance shall be mine, saith the player. So for the both of you now, it is a shared campaign because it's happening in the same place at the same time. So how do you create a story without revealing everything to one another? Because you don't want to ruin it.
They're starting in the same place, but I don't think they're going to stay in the same place for very long.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of the world that we fleshed out at all yet, and there's plenty of space to go. For example, if Rob's game takes us to an area in the north where it's snowy or something, then my campaign probably won't end up in that same place. At least not at the same time.
We're always then shouting distance to each other. Hey, did you guys just kill a giant? That's awesome.
Explain, and I was curious about this too because I didn't know whether you were doing it the same way as Jeff is. The leveling within the game. How's that doing? Because we're not doing the way that we had done and most do before, which is kill something, you get points, and you get closer to, the brass ring. What's going on here with our leveling situation, please?
Well, Jeff started using Wizards of the Coast put out Unearthed Arcanas every month or so that have different rules, add-ons, or whatever playtest material. And one of the ones they put out was about 3-pillar experience, which is basing your leveling on the 3 pillars of an RPG: exploration, combat, and role-playing. And while we could have gone with the kill things and, you level up, and I was originally intending to do that for my campaign and just count out the XP individually, Jeff introduced a really neat idea at the end of his first session of the game, where he was just going to give you up to 1,000 points per day, and or up to 500 points, and then at 1,000 points you go up a level. And I like that.
Okay.
It makes it simple and easy, and you can just rate it based on what they did.
So you're still doing you're both doing it the same way. So it won't be Jeff's game of 500 points, and then tomorrow your game, and I'm like carry the one and
no.
Okay.
No, I like his way.
One more
easier.
goblin.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody likes doing math.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that as a DM, sometimes it's difficult for you to judge how much XP you should get. For example, if you have a very high CR encounter, and for some reason your players are extremely clever and manage to talk their way out of the situation, or just bypass it entirely, to and still attain the goal that they're trying to achieve, you want to give them a reward, but maybe not so much as you would give them if it were a combat. But with this, a social encounter where the difficulty is very high because either the creature is antisocial or just evil or very committed to their cause, that can be very, very difficult as well in its own right. So this way, if you guys manage to get through an encounter through roleplay or some other means, then it's just as viable as it would be in a combat situation.
Finally,
Things like making allies.
Charismatic characters are being acknowledged.
Well, it's hard to encourage roleplay and then only incentivize combat.
Yeah,
I've always
That's
thought.
that's been a problem that I've had with a lot of role-playing games. And having experience with White Wolf and Werewolf the Vampire, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and Vampire the Masquerade, and so on, they would award an experience point for showing up, an experience point for heroism, an experience point for roleplay, an experience point for combat, so on and so forth, and basically give you a lot of means of getting experience points, but still limiting you as to how fast you can attain things. So by doing it this way, if you have 2 really good sessions, then you'll level. If you have 2 sessions where you just don't really do much, then you might not.
Being that as May, since it is a shared campaign, you, Jeff, are so lucky because your character, or one of your NPCs, which is in your game, but you actually get to play him in Rob's game,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to meta. It's you just get all the knowledge.
There is that, yes. I'll be honest, I was considering making a completely different character and leaving that character as an NPC. But the fact of the matter is I believe that Rob has some pretty good ideas for a story. I don't know much, but I know enough that I'm interested in seeing how it plays out. And that would be a lot more fun than just using the guy as a MacGuffin in my own campaign.
Because the challenge for the rest of us, or at least for me, because I'm a character in both campaigns, plus, if y'all ever give me any NPCs to voice, and do that. But the thing is, it's two separate characters. So one character will have one set of knowledge that the other doesn't have. So you can be like, oh, wait, I don't have this knowledge yet. I can't say that. I haven't been here before. Why am I assuming these things? So,
that's the difficulty too in going from playing an epic level character down to a normal level character. Because you can kind of justify it when you're high level, in the sense of you've just been doing this so long, you can guess what's going to happen. When you're a low level character, you're just like stumbling into things face first.
Oh, gee, the floor
I always
grew
play
teeth and tried
naive
to
sort
eat
of
me
characters.
What was that, Jeff?
I said, oh no, the floor grew teeth and tried to eat me again. Jeez.
I hate when that happens.
So, audience, you may have to watch us for metaing, as it could be a bit like, wait a minute, you don't know that yet. How do you know that broom walks? I don't. My other character does. You're right.
You can call us on it. I will give you a cookie, and I don't mean the kind that you bake. I mean the kind that you put into a browser and send to someone.
Yes.
I don't have any of those. Trolla ate all my cookies. When you have, like, say, characters, like, say, my character that I play in Rob's game knows both Taliesin and then, say, Tay Marie from Jeff's game.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of timey-wimey connected. Do you foresee there being any issues with that as far as storytelling? Like, because it's quite odd. It's very different.
Not so much. I mean, one of the few benefits that your characters really did bring to the world was communication is much easier. For example, in any town, you can go to a place and they essentially will allow you to access a sending stone that will contact any other
We
sending stone.
invented
Every single sending stone just has your welcome written on the back.
Payphones.
That's real.
I mean,
You're welcome.
that really has a lot to do with, why people were able to survive as they have, because, the communities tend to be in contact with each other.
Well, you're welcome, universe. We improved it. We didn't break everything.
You did drain an ocean into the Underdark
And, shatter the fabric of reality and possibly open
You
a
know
gateway
what?
to the Outrealms.
All of you
Broke the
two
moon.
both had a heavy hand in doing this as well. Why do I feel tried?
No comment. No comment.
It was all
We took a high
quite
road.
reactive.
Because I want to talk about NPCs now just a little bit.
Mhm.
Those wonderful non-player characters who we all love and adore so much, who are usually mean in Jeff's campaign, but are very nice in Jasper's, apparently.
No, we
would
forced
there
them
be
to
a
be
No.
nice.
It's more of a facade.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, I'm going to stuff the children in a sack now.
But no, I mean, we have had a few that we did like. We did like King Pabble the Pixie King.
And he's lawful evil as hell, so.
No, he's not. He loves lemon cake. Are there
No one who
any-
loves lemon cake can be lawful evil.
That's right. That's
Every
right.
time we're not watching him, he's actually devouring children.
Lemon cake is code.
But no, have you come up with any characters yet that we will adore?
I've come up with at least one that I imagine you'll hate. I don't know about Door.
I'm still kind of refining some of my ideas based on what I got as far as player backstories go, but if things play out that I bring one in, maybe.
oh, we get one that we like. The rest are gonna hate us and be absolute jerks, but we get one.
I've come up with what 10 so far, plus the ones from the Discord community.
Right, that is another thing that we're doing, where people in the Discord can help create, and us players, we don't go there. So that it is a surprise to us. So
yep. We have a private channel on there so that our viewers, none of us who are in a game or part of the administrative staff, well, I have to have access because I'm the server administrator and can pull this stuff out, but none of the people like game masters can see it. Only people who are tagged with the viewer, and they can create an NPC or a story or a bit of lore or even a faction or something like that and put it in their suggestion, and I will give it to the other game masters and be like, so do any of you want to use this, or do you want to refine it?
Well, I would have thought it would be like game, like there would be one for Jeff to look in, and then for your game to look in.
I figure it's easier to just pool them all together and see who wants it.
I agree.
Because that gives like the three of us currently running games, that gives us a chance to go, oh, well, I could take this part of this story and use the character this way, and someone else can be like, yeah, but I could take their whole thing and just slightly tweak it.
Right.
All right. So, and I want to ask as well, how likely is characters in one game could be behind or in close proximation to characters in the other campaign? So, say you were in a town, one day they leave, and then they arrive, and they're like, what the hell happened here?
What did you do?
Yeah, I mean,
we've been over this.
Is there going to be a lot of cleanup after one another? I mean, how closely do you think there will be cross interaction?
That depends on the players.
That depends on us.
Really, yeah. I mean, NPCs, the ones who like live in towns or have some kind of fortress or lair or something like that, they are not going to move around very much without PC interaction, or some bigger, badder NPC coming and taking them down. So depending on where the players go and what they do can affect anybody they meet.
For example, Dry Dock currently is it's in the middle of a desert. To the north, you have the Sea of Silt. You have threats in most every direction. And there are a lot of people who travel in and out, but the act of traveling in or out is a pretty big undertaking in and of itself. It's not something that you do lightly. So most people who live in Dry Dock tend to stay there. And
then you also have like the global reaching factions, like the Legion of Salt or the Bardic Athletes. There are people who are felt all over the world. So you might meet a captain one day who comes in to arrest you, and then the next day you're meeting the same guy who's been sent somewhere else.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's
well, not the next day, of course, but like over the course of a month, he might be in one place and then sent on patrol somewhere else.
All right. Okay. Well, that's very, very, very interesting. Now, and you cannot say each other. You cannot have you cannot say each other. But I want to know, who do you think is most likely of us players to maybe go in another direction that you hadn't planned for? You've planned for scenario A, B, C, D, E, F, and then we do you. Who do you think is most likely in your game to throw a little wrench in the work? You cannot say each other.
Rage. He's playing a bear. He got arrested first thing, and is very close to being taken out to the Sea of Silt.
Pretty much, but and in my personal opinion, honestly, I would put it as you and then Jasper.
Me?
You and then Jasper in that order.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
I don't conspire with my fellow players. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, right. Well, it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually really good when a player can challenge a DM and be like, yeah, but you didn't think of this.
The fact of the matter is, as a DM, if you already have anticipated everything that your players are going to do, it's boring.
Pretty much.
And as a DM, if I'm not enjoying the game, then the players aren't.
Well, hopefully, Jeff, and this is just a little... I felt so bad the last campaign that I couldn't follow your narrative in the right order to get it all done.
Well, there was no right order.
Yeah,
well,
that was
there was, because if we'd gone about it differently, we would have ticked all the boxes.
If there was
But-
something to learn from the previous campaign, it's that the story threads that you leave unfinished can really turn around and bite you.
And that, we were what, 8 people? We can't do everything.
Yeah.
We can't do everything, but I just felt like I didn't hit them in the right order to be able to collect them all.
Well, you kind of followed one thread, and it ended up leading to the main antithesis of the campaign.
Yeah, but I wanted to do all that other stuff. I just hope that this one, that I'm able to pay attention and read the stars and smoke signals so that we can catch it all.
Well, there's another thing too that you have to keep in mind, which is when you get better at DMing. It's not saying that anybody who can't do this is a bad DM. I'm not saying that at all. But when you get better at DMing, you start to realize that most NPCs and plot threads have lives of their own. So anytime a player is not doing something, that doesn't mean an NPC isn't. If you have this guy who's waiting for this group,
they got their lives.
So, you have Steve who's waiting for them to come turn in a quest this day, but suddenly Steve gets a better offer to do something else. So Steve just gets up and leaves town. Now the NPCs are coming back, and there's nobody to turn the quest into, and Steve is off, having his own little adventure over here that affects the world around them, too.
All right, okay.
Well, Steve's gone. He makes friends with the Lich, and the Lich goes and brings a beholder in, and it goes on in there.
I want to know this Steve guy.
Yeah. Steve's the most charismatic person.
Really?
He's got an infinity signal for charisma.
So, getting closer to the end here, are there any little secrets or tidbits, that you can tell us? Because we promised not to tell anyone. I won't.
Right. We're not going to tell anyone with our video posted on the internet.
Yeah, I know that you don't want to give too much away, but is there some little, because we love to know all, or at least as much as y'all allow us to know.
I suppose we could do as kind of a little shout out. We got a lot of ideas just yesterday, I think it was, from StephNet, actually, from our Discord.
Oh,
who posted possibly the most detailed start for a group that I've ever seen that we're going to incorporate bits and pieces of for the group itself and for other factions.
Oh.
He drew out of lore that Jeff and I had not looked through yet. So props to him. And he gave us a lot more stuff to work with.
Ooh, I'm very curious now because that sounds rather in-depth.
That's honestly one of the things I'm most excited about with this campaign is the inclusion of input from other people and stuff, because a lot of times, whenever you have a group that's been playing together for a long time, a lot of times it does get to the point that there's a certain amount of predictability. Mm-hmm. For example, I know that if I give you a choice of some sort, Jerry, that will occupy you for an entire session.
Wow, there's so many, ways it could go, and I have
to
call my people and get their input. And
he could literally ask us, "Would you rather have a bagel or a donut?" And we would spend 6 hours debating whether or not to give the bagel or the donut. Exactly. It'd be like, who's giving us the donut? Has they poisoned it?
Is this a Shipley's donut? Is it a Krispy Kreme?
Oh God, Shipley's! Don't remind me.
Is it Dunkin' Donut?
I think the ultimate Topsy trap would be a button with a sign that says, "Do not push me unless you need to."
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that makes me happy.
It's okay, it makes me happy too.
Yeah, well, that is, we all have our close and our stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, that is one of the more fun parts too, is learning what your players can do and what they will do, and kind of just making them do make their own problems.
Absolutely.
Jeff was talking to me about how entertaining it was when he'd plan 5 minutes of a game one day, and we would spend the entire session arguing about the first thing he says instead of doing any of what he planned for that day.
Well, it's the little things that make a game interesting, right? Right?
One of the things that I love the most about DMing is whenever you have a group and you present them a problem, and they start role playing amongst themselves, and after a few minutes you're just sitting there quietly and they're just having a discussion.
Yeah.
And you're not even contributing anymore. You're just letting them do their thing. I love that.
And that's the greatest thing for a DM too, when someone's that invested in your game that they're going to do that.
And
I think just be, I go punch the wall for 10 minutes until this problem solves itself.
And what I think is interesting is that within our group, there are so many that are that kind of player. You have some people who do their game and then don't talk or speak about or think about it until that time next week. Whereas we will we'll have our little powwows and and our little think tanks, and will be more engaged, I think, than some. But that's just the type of players we are, I think.
I think it helps a lot that, for whatever reason, we all seem to mesh really well no matter what we're playing or what we're doing. Like in our first campaign, I was playing Rickross the Paladin, Jerrie was playing Topsy the Bard, Jeff was playing Beasleby the Wizard. And despite all of us meeting completely different points and playing completely different people, we all managed to kind of connect to a point where we can still work together. And now, no matter what characters we play or what their attitudes are, we still find some way to connect to each other.
Yeah.
You just have to have some kind of a common ground with the other players.
Yeah. And I think our gaming styles are, for at least amongst us three, our play styles a little bit similar. Although I do think that Rob does like to hit more than
it varies for me. I just like to snark at things. Like, I will play any character whatsoever as long as he is snarky.
And you know, I mean, we're all in the same group and everything, so I guess it's not bad to advertise for somebody else's game. But the Weekend at Strahdi's campaign on Mondays.
Which is on Mondays, yes. And I did put that, yes, we know it is no longer the weekend, but it is always the weekend in Barovia.
It's no longer Weekend at Strahdi's either. It's now Ravenloft Rough Boys, the Barovian anime.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes.
We're just taking a Weekend at Strahdi's because that is not as creepy.
But what's fun to me about that particular game, and it's something that I don't know. It's something that I think that Jasper has accidentally stumbled upon, and I don't know whether it's her fault or whether it's just us as players.
Beautiful thing.
We've all just kind of found this wavelength where we've decided that we are going to be the bright, shining light and rainbow in Barovia. And no matter what happens around us, it's like we are just positive and, you know, looking to make things better.
That is probably the only situation I could playing.
You would love to be in that game. I'm not even kidding you. You would love it.
Don't make my heart want to go there.
Well, the thing too, I think, is that it's kind of difficult to play a gothic horror themed campaign very well, because
these guys are so beautiful.
there's a fine line between playing a horror game that is like, oh wow, that's creepy, and I feel like I'm in a really good horror movie, and wow, okay, we get it. You have a horrible backstory. Your entire series of gothic stylings have looped around and stuck its head up its own ass in an Ouroboros of stupid. Please stop.
Well, I also think that we're a bit more self-aware, maybe. We take the mickey out of it a bit more than some, which is kind of like, we are constantly breaking fourth wall.
We don't have a fourth wall. We have a panel of glass we knock on
occasionally. We don't. It's just air. It is just air, and I think that's what's...
I do think it frustrates Jasper a little bit the way we play Ravenloft, but I do like it because she's got the serious Ravenloft setting down with all the serious characters and serious issues, and we're just loopy.
I'm sure that she'll get her say when I have a little chat with her, and
you? Good.
Oh,
I will. I just decided to do used to together because your campaign's linked and
right. Okay.
Is the only reason why I did that. Yeah, doing it
and
because
we need to preface everything we do with the puppy.
That's true.
The devil puppy.
Right, a little devil puppy. I said, Jeff, please find something that is more you and...
that is more you, and he picks the devil puppy.
At the end of the journey, that is...
That's pretty much what's
feels.
inside of my heart.
Well, to be fair, that's inside everybody's heart.
Cue the audience. There we go.
Audience is just like, what?
No. The audience loves
No. Let's hope.
it. The heartstrings are just.
You should put the cow sound there instead.
No, I'm not.
It's like, audience, please.
No. Stop
That
making
might-
this hard to edit, Rob.
That might send the wrong message to our audience.
Right. But anyway, so any final thoughts? Important things that we should know, that the audience should know, that I should know.
The thing to keep in mind whenever you watch our videos or our streams is that we tend to snark at each other a lot and generally make fun of each other and our characters, but a lot of what we do is built on the foundation that we all really like and trust each other as players and as people. So even in the middle, even if you think, somebody's like, like say if we're making fun of Ursa for getting arrested, it's only because we treasure Rage and his character.
I think that it took Jasper a long time to be like,
Yeah.
Is she think to get my humor and
it is hard to get
stuff.
sometimes.
It
But,
is.
I'll be
It
perfectly
is.
honest. I love the Ursa character. I don't know
Oh,
why.
absolutely.
I love the
You don't know
concept of that
if
character.
if his character's got legs, but
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to work, but I am really enjoying finding out.
I mean, there are very few character concepts where I hear it the first time and I go, "Oh, it's amazing."
Just
So,
the
props
idea
to-
of this drunken monk.
So
That
major
happens to
props
be
to
a
Rage
bear.
for that.
Yes.
he did, and thinking about the Feywild and a lot of things. So I know that we both, hopefully, and it'll work out, and hopefully this will be sort of the cast for a good while because we lost someone. Poor Eric. We love you, Eric.
Yeah, shout out to
Come
Eric
back
and
to us. Come
hope everything
back
goes
to
well for you,
us
buddy.
as soon as possible because we need you. But can
It's
you
true.
tell
We need our
about
Prince of Darkness.
who's coming into each of your games and what they're playing, sort of, so that we kind of.
Jeff, you want to go first?
Yeah, let's see how many of these I can remember.
Do I need to send you the character cards?
No, it's fine.
We're totally professional here.
Yeah, he's
And
Tome. He's back to Tome.
Our new
Mhm.
player.
Our new player is Tylendel.
Tyrandel.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Tylendel or Tylendel, or I'm not certain of the
Tyrandel,
pronunciation.
yes.
Okay.
Apologies for butchering your name.
Yes.
We
sorry
will
about
get
that.
it. We promised.
Tylendel.
Just say, what is he? What,
I'm just
what
covering
is
all
he?
bases, okay? I believe he is playing a cleric.
Ooh.
I actually need to get with him to do his sheet and stuff. I'm gonna
I
do
thought
that after this.
was already
New.
done. And you, Rob, what have you got? Who's the new person in yours that?
I'm just going to go ahead and give an individual shout out to everybody that's in my game too, because each of them have given me really awesome ideas with their characters. We have Jasper, who's playing Izzy Shahana, a rogue, not a rogue, a ranger monster hunter. Koros, who is Sim181, playing her twin brother.
Also known as Joe. Joe is
Yeah, Joe.
181.
And both them, the place they came from, and the NPC I made to be their father are really awesome ideas that give me a lot of stuff to work with. So shout out to both of them. We have Rage playing Yixid, the son of the only ruby dragon in the Forgotten Realms, a deity, who has also given me really awesome ideas, but with both of themselves and with the Dragon Coven. We have you, Jerrie, playing Trixie, the bard. She is a student of Topsy Oak Song, the epic level bard we mentioned a little bit ago.
Oh, she's her #1 fan.
Yeah, number one.
If you want to
fan.
know anything about Topsy Oak Song, she knows it. She knows probably more about Topsy Oak Song than
That's disturbing.
he said that as well. But I don't care. I know everything about Topsy Oak Song. It's
That's
great.
also quite disturbing. We have Jeff playing Taliesin, the son of Topsy and Beasleby, who is a artificer and generally just one of the 2 points of cosmic attention right now. He and Tay Marie are kind of like at the very top of Pharaoh's equivalent to the Do Not Fly list. We have
well-
Crashbug playing Erica, a Gravity Knight fighter, which is an archetype that we found on DM's Guild. And shout out for him because he created an entire faction by accident, just using that archetype.
Yep.
And hopefully that in both of your games, but I know it might happen a little bit quicker in your game, Rob, since we have a more Fae party in your group, that the fusing of all the elements in the Feywild, some of the changes with the air and water and fire and earth elements, that some people are infused if they were born in the Fae after these changes, which doesn't really apply to Mark Crashes, because he's like however old. He wasn't there at the time of the convergence, so that doesn't.
He's
really
like 300. No, he would have been alive at the time.
He would have been alive, but you have to be born after the changes. That's so it's one of those weird.
We'll probably do a lore video about what happened because there's
that's
a
actually,
lot of ground to cover.
That's a great idea. That's actually a great idea.
We might have to. But
at some point, I'm going to make a cosmological map of what the cosmology of the world currently looks like, because it's
welcome to the Broken World Lore videos, Chapter 1 of 362.
Right, but what I was saying is that some of these more elemental abilities and magic that really wasn't in the past campaign, how it might come to a bit of a head quicker in your campaign, Rob, than in Jeff's. Because you do have more of a fake party.
Because I've been getting, like today, after I got home from doing all these errands, I've been searching for like elemental NPCs and attributes, stuff like that. So hopefully I'll figure out something to work in.
Go Earth Nation. Earth Nation.
On the DM's Guild, and I believe there might be a print copy you can get as well, there is a whole campaign setting called Incarnate. Which is where I cribbed a lot of ideas from. Yeah. And the basic idea is you have different types of people. They're fire folk and air folk and so on. And
mostly monks. They're all sort of monk classes, elements, but...
What I figured out is that rules-wise, it's very easy to take the base of one race and add a sub-race from one of the elemental races and create, say, a fire elf or an earth elf or, an air dwarf if you really wanted to. That would be kind of weird.
Earth gnome.
Which
is like a forest gnome or a tree gnome, but
everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
The interesting thing about that Incarnate Last of the Lasers, and I definitely want to give a plug to that because all of the proceeds that they make for that game go to a charity that I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, awesome props to those guys.
Yes, and it's very well put together.
It absolutely is.
Really well put together.
If you are a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, it will almost seem lawsuit worthy.
And even if you're not a fan, it's pretty damn awesome.
It really
is. It is. Go watch that series and you'll know what I'm talking about. So, I think that is sort of, an explanation of early days and the feel of the campaign, what we're trying to do, what we hope to do. We'll make questionable decisions, as that is what we do. We can't help that, really. Just small disclaimer, we will make questionable decisions, but we hope to make a few right.
The foundation of our belief principle is wait. Should I have done that again?
Time stop. Zach Morris moment.
Hold on. I need about an hour to think about this.
Time out. Time out. And anyways, as I said, I will be making a video talking to Jasper about being a chick and how, she came to us, just her thoughts and everything on DMing, because now she's doing that. And I'm sure that she will have nothing to say but good things about the both of you. And always, anyway, our game on Saturday for Central Time is noon to about 6. If you're on the East thing, then it's at 1 to about 6 or 7ish. It's when we end. I can't help that. It's like a combat happens. And then on Sunday, Rob's game, which is the flip side of Broken World, which is at what time to what time, Rob?
Around 4 p.m. EST.
Right, around.
It depends because Jeff has a game earlier that day, so really it's whenever Jeff is out and ready.
Yeah.
It all
And everyone else
depends
does
on
too.
you, Jeff. And then on Mondays we have Weekend at Strahdi's, even though it is Monday. It's always Weekend in Barovia, which is at what to what time?
Usually it's 10 EST to around midnight.
All right. Okay. So, check us out. We've got basically the Broken World with the Saturday's game has 2 sessions in front of Rob's because the first session for your game is this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna be like, what? Huh? What? All that.
Why is everything on fire?
Why is everything on fire? CPO. That's all I just has it to
I think
himself.
it's more likely it's probably Tal.
Yeah.
Tal, we know you want to fix things, but this is not the way.
He doesn't have Fireball. Marie, on the other hand.
He's got Alchemist's Fire.
That's
Wait,
true.
no, he doesn't. That's an Alchemist.
Anyways, that is all from us. We will see you when we see you in detention.